ourselves. Yes. There, you got your wooden spoon for your gavel? Oh, let's see if I have. I'll find something.
Burleson, meeting's to you.
Pardon me, who said that?
The meeting has started.
Okay. Going to get started then. Can everyone hear me? Tell me if you can't. All right, we're going to get started. Thank you to everyone for joining certain times, and certainly for bearing an awkward way to hold a council meeting. I want to welcome all of you, and we're going to start tonight with Cinda doing a roll call.
Councilmember Hopkins,
Present.
Councilmember Freilich. Is that a yes? Councilmember Malcolm,
He's here. He said present, but we didn't hear him. I'm not sure what's going on with his audio. I can see him.
did Freilich say anything?
I did not catch anything from Freilich, and I don't see him joined by computer.
Okay. Councilmember Gordon, Councilmember Brockert,
She was here.
Oh, I have to unmute. Present.
Councilmember Gendrich, Councilmember Brackett,
Present.
that gives
What's your
me 4
total?
present. Pardon?
What's your total?
4 present, 3 absent.
So we do have 4 present, which is a quorum. So we have Councilman Hopkins, Malcolm, Brackett, and Brockert. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay. We are going to move on. Obviously, we're not going to do a pledge of allegiance. We're going to move to the consent agenda. The following items are considered routine by the City Council and will be enacted by. There will be no separate discussion of items unless the council member so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda? Includes items A and B, items 8A through H, items 12A and B, and tonight's bills totaling $1,900,244. If
So
someone would make a motion, please say your name.
So moved by Kelsey Brackett.
And do I have a second?
Second. Hopkins.
We have a motion by Councilman Brackett with a second by Councilman Hopkins. All in favor say aye.
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 The consent agenda is approved. We're going to move on down. We have two public hearings tonight. I don't know if others were able to get included or not, but we are on 6A, our public hearing.
Second, Bob.
Pardon me?
I think that
Public-
Councilman Malcolm's audio is glitching because I think that was him speaking from earlier.
Okay. We have two public hearings. First one is an amendment to the current budget that we are on with the year end 6/30 of 20. This resolution amends the budget to the revised estimate amounts considered by the City Council during the 2021 budget review process. It includes amending both the revenues and the currently estimated amounts. Amendments also reflect updated capital project construction schedules. Now is the time for the public comment. Are there any public comments?
Mayor, no one showed up at City Hall for public comment.
Thank you. Is there anyone on the line that would like to comment? I do not hear
Motion to close.
anything. Who was that?
Hopkins.
Hopkins made a close. Do I have a second? Second, Your Honor. Okay. We have a motion by Councilman Hopkins to close this public hearing, second by Councilwoman Brockert. Do I have any discussion further?
Your Honor,
Yes.
it's Greg Jenkins. So I've now been told by the fire chief and the police chief that they are unable to access this meeting we verified that they're using the codes that they should be. It concerns me that we may not have the open meeting that we thought we did because people can't get in, evidently.
I agree. I was not
This is Dennis Fralick. I just got access.
Yeah, this is Councilman Brackett. I'm gonna suggest, we're in the discussion phase of this public hearing still. I'm gonna suggest that we table this one and all the rest of the public hearings that we had on the agenda for tonight, so we can figure out this format a little better, because I don't think that it's fair to the public. Obviously people, that are supposed to be taking part in the meeting as participants are not having trouble getting in, and I don't think that it is appropriate for us to continue public hearings at this time.
Are you making a motion to that?
Yes, I am.
Do I have a second to Councilman Brackett's motion to table the two? There are only two public hearings that's already been removed. To table the public hearings until our next meeting, which would be April. Actually, it would have to be a resolution to get them scheduled. So I have a motion by Councilman Brackett with the second by Councilwoman Brockert to table these public hearings to next month. Your Honor, I didn't second. Pardon me.
What I wanted to note was the public hearing on the fiscal year 2021 budget. But we have to have that approved and submitted by the 31st of March. And our next regular meeting isn't until April.
That's been revised meeting.
Brockert, as a result of the coronavirus outbreak that we've been experiencing, the government has extended that deadline, so that is not a concern. Okay, thank you.
Mayor, this is John Gendrich. I'm on now.
Thank you.
Mayor, this is Dennis Fralick. I'm also on now.
Very good. I read the public hearing, and Councilman Brackett suggested or made a motion, and seconded by Councilwoman Brockert, that most of the people that are having a hard time getting on, that in fairness to these public hearings, that we table them until April. And right now I'm asking for a vote on. All in favor say aye.
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 Are there any opposed to that? Hearing none, both public hearings for tonight. Public hearing B was already removed prior to the meeting, so public hearing A and, I'm sorry, public hearing C was the one. Public hearing A and public hearing C are tabled until April. And we will not have to vote on that since we weren't on to a resolution. It was just a hearing. Any questions before we proceed?
Mayor, this is Norm Nickel, Muscatine Lumber. Does that include the issue of the, is that public part of my issue?
I'm having trouble hearing you. Could you repeat that?
I have an application in for subdivision. Is that a public, is that part of your public that you're putting off till next month?
No, the public hearings were both concerning the budget. Subdivision that have not gotten to that yet. Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to confirm that. Yep, just wanted to confirm that.
Certainly.
Thank you.
So hearing nothing else on these, we are going to continue on down. We are on 10A. And we are not going to do 10A because it was a resolution stemming from public hearing A, which we tabled. So we will not do 10A. Same goes for 10B. We will table that until April. And 10C was removed earlier. We need more earlier in the day because we need more information. And now that brings us down to E. We have presented for City Council's consideration a resolution authorizing the assessment of unpaid abatement costs to private properties. The nuisance abatement costs total $5,168.15. The administrative $775, and the assessment fees are $1,200. The total fees being requested for assessment at this time total $7,143.50. I do need a motion to adopt this resolution as submitted.
So moved, Your Honor. This is.
So moved.
And could you state your name, please, Councilman?
Councilman Gendrich, so moved.
All right.
Thank
Second,
you.
Councilman Brackett.
All right, we have a motion by Councilman Gendrich with a second by Councilman Brackett. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Councilwoman Brockert, how do you vote? Aye. Councilman Gendrich, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilman Brackett, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gordon, how do you vote? Councilman Osmond, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilman Freilich, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilman Hopkins.
Aye.
So it seems to me, if I'm correct, the only council person not in attendance yet then would be Peggy Gordon.
I'm here, Mayor.
All right. This resolution is adopted. And we are on 10. We have presented for City Council's consideration a resolution setting a public hearing for April 2nd regarding a request to vacate a portion of the alley right-of-way located in Block 29. Do I have a motion to adopt this resolution as submitted?
So moved, Your Honor.
Dennis beat me to it. Dennis beat me to
Councilman
it.
Freilich.
Kelsey seconding.
Councilman Freilich has made the motion, and the second is Councilman Brackett.
Yeah, I seconded.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Councilwoman Brockert, how do you vote? Aye. Councilman Malcolm.
Aye.
Councilman Freilich.
Aye.
Councilman Hopkins.
Aye.
Councilman Gendrich.
Aye.
Councilman Brackett.
Aye. And Councilman Gordon is on the call now.
Oh, Councilman Gordon. Councilwoman Gordon.
Councilwoman Gordon.
Aye.
Sorry.
Right. Resolution is adopted with all ayes, and we are now on 11F. presented for City Council's consideration is a resolution approving the final plat of Grandview subdivision. This is a 3-lot subdivision located at 1700 Grandview Avenue. Staff recommends approval of the proposed subdivisions to bring the parcel lines into line with the way the land is being used. Do I have a motion to adopt the resolution as submitted?
So moved, Your Honor. This
Hopkins.
is Councilman Brackett.
Councilman Hopkins, and second, Councilman Brackett.
Sure.
Did I get that correct?
Correct.
We were right at the
Fraley.
same time, so that works.
Okay. Is there any discussion on this issue? Hearing none, Councilwoman Gordon, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilwoman Brockert? Aye. Councilman Gendrich?
Aye.
Councilman Brackett?
Aye.
Councilman Malcolm?
Aye.
Councilman Fraley?
Aye.
Councilman Hopkins?
Aye.
This resolution is adopted with all ayes. We are now on 11G, and we have before us presented, a request to approve the installation of no left turn signs. I'm going to say that differently because it could be, we're not going to put any left turn signs. The installation of signs that say no left turn on them at the intersection of Fulham and Hauser Street. Staff recommends that signs be purchased from Iowa Prison Industries. This item will be paid for out of the traffic budget. Is there a motion to approve the request as submitted?
So moved, Your Honor.
Second, Your Honor.
And who was the first person?
Malcolm.
Councilman Malcolm? And
Yes,
second?
and the second was Councilman Brackett.
Got it. So as far as discussion for this item, I don't think that our Chief of Police, Hawkington, has been able to get logged on.
No, but I have an amendment that I'd like to make as part of the discussion.
He did, the Chief did out an email to everyone asking that it be modified to only be left turns onto Hauser from Fulham, not all 4 ways. I believe that was sent to the entire council for consideration.
Mayor?
Yes.
I did finally get in with you guys.
Oh, hi, Brett. Okay.
Hi. Sorry it took me. I was typing in the wrong pin. That's my bad.
Okay.
Not a problem. So I would like to make a motion to add an amendment to this to that effect, to only place the left turn only signs, the no left turn signs, the no left turn sign on entering Hauser from Fulham.
I second it.
So, Councilman Brackett, you're making a amendment to that effect?
Correct.
And who seconded it?
Osmond Malcolm.
Awesome. I'd like to ask before asking for a vote on that amendment, Chief, are you and all your people feel like this is the best move for this situation then?
Well, to be honest with you, my vote would be to not have any signs there and leave it as is, and that has always been my stance. But if you want to try something, I would suggest that would be the only sign you put up, because the left turn out of there is the only issue from that one direction.
Understood. Is there any other discussion, Council?
Hi, Your Honor. Mayor, this is Councilman Gendrich.
Yes, please go ahead.
I just the extent to which school is going to be in session for the rest of the year, which is a major part of the traffic situation there, I think, anyway. To the extent to which we're going to have school because of the coronavirus is kind of up in the air. Maybe the council should consider leaving the intersection as it is and just continue to discuss. But I voice that I would be in favor of following, if we are going to follow a program here and make a decision, that we follow Chief Talkington's recommendation and Councilman Brackett's amendment. But it might not be a bad idea just to leave it as is for now.
Well, and I would add on to that if we, because that Councilman Gendrich has a very valid point on that. So we could make an additional amendment too, or we could just direct staff, if we pass this, to not put the signs up until we know when school's going to be in session again.
This request is just to purchase the signs. It's not to put them up yet.
Right. So we can still direct staff when to install the signs.
So let's make sure I understand where we are. The discussion is only have the no left turn signs on houses going on the folio.
Other way around.
No.
Going on the house.
Okay, and not to install until school resumes.
Well, the motion right now is just for my amendment to the original.
Okay.
And that is the only part that we're on right now as far as discussion and then vote. And that is just simply to only place the signs on.
I'm trying to amend your motion to make it all encompassing, so we only have to do it voting one time.
Well, this is also just for the purchase of the signs. So even if this passes, it won't direct for installation immediately.
So why don't we just withdraw Councilman Brackett's motion and just vote for the sign and get the one sign based on Chief Tarkenton's and go from there and wait till we determine what school is going to happen, and then we can put the signs up.
Well, I think without my amendment on there, then we're purchasing 4 signs, if I remember right.
Yes, we need the amendment to the purchasing one sign.
Okay. All right.
So the way we have a motion on the table to amend original.
Sorry.
Yes.
The only thing I was going to, Greg here, sorry to interrupt, I apologize for that, but the motion as I read it on the agenda online is it's for the installation of these, not just the purchase.
Is it?
It is. Just getting ready to explain that with the amendment.
I apologize.
Okay.
Installation. That's correct.
It's hard with our technology here right now to get that all straight.
Yep.
So the original motion was that we have with Councilman Malcolm and Councilman Brackett as a second was the consideration to approve the installation of no left turn signs at the intersection of Fulham and Hauser. It doesn't say when. And staff recommends that these signs be purchased from the Iowa Prison Industries. And the item will be paid from the budget. We have a motion by Councilman Malcolm with a second by Councilman Brackett for that. Then Councilman Brackett amended it to be that we only purchase one sign.
No.
And added that the installation not occur until school is back in session. Am I correct in that?
No.
Technically, it was 2. Yeah,
There's
2 signs instead of 4.
as opposed to 4 signs.
So they would only be installed on Fulham, directing people not to take a left turn on Hauser.
Can I interject a little bit in this one?
Yes.
Is this Brett?
Hello? Yeah, sorry, Brett. My recommendation, I'm sorry, and I don't know if my email wasn't clear or not. I'm looking at one sign on Folium. If you're going to do this, just do one sign on Folium headed west. And that's the only sign that is needed up there if you're going to put one up there. Not the opposite.
And I'm happy to retract my amendment and clarify it and then re-amend it.
Sorry, I'm not trying to throw a wrench into this, but I think if you're going to do it, like I say, my recommendation would be to not do anything with it. But if you want to try something, just put the one sign in, because that's the only issue at that intersection is people turning left during those times.
Correct. Right. And that was my initial, that was how I felt about it. I misunderstood your direction on it and thought that you were looking for one on each side of the street there.
No, sorry, just on that one corner.
And
Who
we've
keeps
got
saying
one
hello?
trying to find-
There's someone that keeps saying hello.
Yes, hi. I have a question. What are they going to do about the roundabout? We feel like the roundabout on Second and Mulberry, we feel like that's going to cause a wreck.
Sir, can you stop a minute, please? Are you wanting to? Who are you? First of all, identify yourself.
I'm Brett Bowling.
Okay, Brad Bowling.
Brett.
Brett Bowling.
Yes.
And are you wanting to talk about no left turn sign on Pulliam and Hauser?
No, I'm talking about the roundabout down on Second and Mulberry.
Okay, well, this would not be the time to have that discussion. We're doing communications from public at the end of the phone call. I will ask for communication public at that time. Thank you.
Okay.
Councilman Brown, I understood your amendment to be exactly what the chief just said.
Okay. If that is how you understood it, then, you know,
That is how I understood.
then the amendment stands because you did read it back. So
So the amendment is that we go forward with the purchase of signs, but only one on each of the four corners, and that installation occur when school resumes.
okay, the audio cut out for me. Can you read it again? And
Yes.
I'm sorry.
So the amendment is that we approve the purchase of one sign, not one for all four corners, and that the installation occur when school resumes.
Correct.
I need to say, all in favor, say aye on this amendment. And
Aye.
Nay. Discussion.
I've not asked for nays. Now I'm just asking for ayes.
You're going to have to do a roll call because there's too many people that are called in that are unidentifiable from that. So we're going to have to do a roll call vote on this to even know who's voting.
All right. Council Gordon.
Going to ask for discussion.
We've had discussion on this amendment so far.
Not the public.
So the entire thing was for the public. Is there someone else that wants to?
It's Phil. We'd like to talk about it.
Phil Fitzgerald.
If you're like to talk, please say your name and address and contain your conversation to this topic, please. Thank you.
Name's Phil Fitzgerald, 3306 Mulberry Avenue, Muscatine, Iowa. And I think this resolution should be tabled until such time that you can have a normal meeting with public input.
Thank you. We did talk about this at a previous meeting with public there, just as an addendum to your comments. Is there anyone else? Councilwoman Gordon, how do you vote on the amendment?
No.
Councilman Brackett?
Aye.
And Councilman Malcolm?
Aye.
Yeah.
Folks, if you would please mute whatever device you are, it would be really helpful to the party. Councilman Freilich, how do you vote?
Aye. Aye.
Councilman Crockett, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilman Gendrich?
Aye.
And Councilman Hopkins?
Nay.
The amendment carries with 5 ayes and 2 nays. Cindy, do we need to do the original vote as well?
Yes.
So, Councilman Mount, the original vote.
I'm not sure.
For the installation and purchase of signs.
Aye.
Councilman Brackett.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gordon.
Nay.
Councilwoman Brockert.
Aye.
Councilman Hopkins.
Nay.
Councilman Freilich.
Aye.
And I'm missing one. I'm
Councilman
looking.
Gendry.
Councilman Gendry. About that. Your vote is?
Aye.
Right. The motion carries. I'm really sorry, folks, for the awkwardness of this process tonight's meeting. We are on 11-8. We have presented for City Council's consideration a request to approve the issuance of a purchase order to Bone, if I'm saying that right. Can you say that for me, Chief?
Von Lick.
On Lick Kennels in the amount of $17,255 for the purchase of a dual-purpose canine and 6 weeks of handler training. The cost will be absorbed within the police department's existing budget. Do I have a motion to adopt the request as submitted?
So moved. Councilman Brackett.
Councilman Brackett made a motion. Do I have a second?
I second
Your Honor.
Councilman Freilich.
Councilman Freilich seconded.
Yes.
And is there any discussion? Hearing none, Councilwoman Gordon, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilman Malcolm.
Aye.
Councilman Freilich.
Aye.
Councilman Hopkins.
Aye.
Councilwoman Brocker. Aye. Councilman Gendrich.
Aye.
Councilman Brackett.
Aye.
Request is approved. We now have a request to approve an intergovernmental transfer of public funds between the Iowa Department of Human Services and the City of Muscatine. This is a necessary component for our participation in the Ground Emergency Medical Transport Program. Do I have a motion to approve the request as submitted?
So moved.
And you are?
Councilman Gendry.
Councilman Gendrich.
Second by
And-
Councilman Brackett.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Councilwoman Gordon, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilman Malcolm.
Aye.
Councilman Freilich.
Aye.
Councilman Hopkins.
Aye.
Councilwoman Brockert. Aye. Councilman Gendrich.
Aye.
Councilman Brackett.
Aye.
Request is approved. The next thing we have on the agenda is a discussion and possible action regarding closing City Hall to the public. I just got off the phone right before our meeting with Jeff Sorensen, the chair of the County Board of Supervisors. They are closing effective today, all county buildings, and other cities across the state are following. This is something that we really wanted to have council input on to get a consensus to make sure that everybody's thoughts are taken into consideration as we try to move forward, keep the public safe as much as we possibly can. Is there any discussion or concern about us taking that?
This is Councilman Brackett. I don't have concerns about taking this action. I think it's absolutely necessary to be able to continue to provide services to our residents, that we protect our staff as much as possible from any potential infection. So I think that it is imperative that we close the city buildings to the public at this time. We need to make sure, obviously, that we're providing options for the same residents to be able to contact us and to reach out to staff as needed, but to do so through non-face-to-face means. So I fully support this. I just want to make sure that we still provide access to the public through some fashion or another. So I know that, telephone and internet is great. There needs to be, we need to maybe get creative and come up with, another option where maybe we have a lockbox that we attach outside where people can drop notes in, or something like that, so that people then can, it can be retrieved. I don't know. That's just a thought on that part.
And I think staff, I know they've already been putting their heads together to try to come up with solutions to this. And I know that they will come up with some good ideas and make sure that they carry that all out. But I have to agree that it's in the interest of the safety of our staff as well as the public, because we want to make sure that everybody's keeping that social distancing and following the recommended guidelines from the Iowa Department of Public Health. Is there any other questions on this? I think we can leave that the actual plan up to staff. They would really like. Yes.
Councilman Malcolm.
Yes.
I have a couple of questions. So if we close City Hall, how about the parking, people downtown parking? Is that going to be suspended while this is going on? Two, how about public inspections? Can we put them and postpone that as well? I mean, because I'm a little concerned about building inspectors going in things and places that they probably need to avoid right now. So those two are heavy on one.
It is my understanding that they've already are working to only do inspections that absolutely must be done right now, and they have any of other ones they are postponing. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Craig?
Yes, Mayor, that's correct.
So how about the parking? The parking meters. Is there a way? Are we suspending that as well?
We've had a request from businesses now that we have for restaurants that are still open to business for carryout and delivery, as we do have a lot of folks who prepare their own meal or for whatever reason prefer to use that method for their daily meals. We have had requests by a few businesses if we could at least give them a parking spot or some kind of or waive parking fees for the people that are coming up and delivering those meals out to people. Certainly with all the buildings closed, it makes sense to me that we suspend parking meters, but would be something that I would really want to hear from council on.
Mayor, this is Nancy. Can I make a comment?
Sure.
We also want to make sure that the businesses that do stay open don't have people parked in front of them all day long, and people that live downtown or work downtown could potentially take those spaces if we don't do some enforcement. So I think internally, staff-wise, we were looking at, I only have one meter attendant right now, but that she would periodically make those rounds to make sure that people do not take business away from the businesses that are trying to stay open. So that was our kind of a staff recommendation at not today's meeting, but our last meeting.
And I might add that, and I'm sorry if I missed it, Nancy, but we have also had conversations with one and maybe a couple of those restaurants about giving them hoods for their meters that they would then pay for the day. And we asked, and they were okay. It's my understanding that we hold that for a week, and so beginning the next week, we will revisit with them.
Yeah, and that is what we responded to the request that we had. They would have to, if the meters are hooded, people would have to know that it's okay for people that are picking up orders to go to actually park in those hooded meters. So it's not as clear cut as just putting a hood over a meter.
I have this is Councilman Brackett. I've got a question. So if we hooded the meters, would there be something that would prevent that business from putting a temporary sign out by the meter that says, short-term parking for such and such customers, here temporarily?
There wouldn't be, but if there's adjoining businesses, and they both are having orders to go, they have 4 spaces reserved for one, with the business next door not having any spaces. That could be, especially if the 4 aren't taken, and that was our request was for 4 spaces.
Okay. Yeah, this is a tough, this is a tough one, I think, honestly. Parking always is difficult anyway, but I would encourage staff to, continue looking at this and let us know a recommendation. I think that there's not going to be a perfect solution no matter what, and I think that as long as staff is communicating directly with the downtown businesses that this is, potentially impacting, and working with them on a solution, that's the best option.
Your Honor?
Yes.
Sorry.
This is Councilman Freilich. My suggestion would be to leave Main Street at the 2-hour limit parking for now, because there's nobody that needs more than 2 hours to go in and get their food. Leave it as is, because there are no meters. And then make a discussion down the line of what we should do with the 5 streets where they are metered.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I hate to impose extra fees on the businesses that are already being terribly hard hit during this time.
Agreed,
So
Mayor. This is Councilwoman Gordon. And
Pardon me?
if we do, this is Councilwoman Gordon. And if we do move into a hooded situation, I would recommend that we not charge a fee, again, for the same reason you just stated.
I agree. I don't know why we would have a fee attached to that.
It'd be nominal, and we have to do everything we can to help the businesses.
Yeah. Hope that they all make it through this. So this discussion primarily, we're looking for a consensus to close City Hall and city buildings, with staff looking at making accommodations to still serve the public on their essential needs. Do I have consensus for that? This is not a vote, I'm just looking at a consensus, but since I can't see heads nodding, I'm going to ask Councilman Brackett.
Yeah, you've got it from me. I would just request that staff keep us fully informed on what they decide to do, how they, so that we understand what the public's, process is going to be to be able to reach out. So that's the only addition I want to make, is that as soon as there's a decision made, that we're just kept in the loop.
And I do think we need to revisit this parking thing unless staff comes up with some kind of a plan and shares that council's pleased with. Would each one of you chime in on your consensus on closing the city hall and buildings?
Yes.
Councilman Malcolm, yes.
Gordon?
Councilwoman Brock, yes.
Councilman Freilich, yes.
Gendrich, yes.
Sounds
Gendrich,
like we have.
yes.
Very good. That was the last thing on our agenda for tonight. I would like to take this opportunity. I know that we might have a couple of folks on here, and I didn't give the opportunity for comments at the beginning because we were having some trouble with people being able to log on. So I thought maybe by the end of the meeting we'd have more people that wanted to make a comment. Is there any people from the public that would like to speak to council about something that we already didn't have on the agenda tonight, because we would have already talked about that? If you do, please state your name and address, what your comment is.
Mayor, this is Adam Thompson, Chamber of Commerce, address is 409 Park Avenue. I just want to add that we've been communicating quite closely with downtown businesses, and I've had some communication with Greg along the lines of the discussion on parking and trying to support downtown businesses. And I just wanted to make sure that we let council know that we're an advocate for downtown businesses. We're here to help as well, or we're an advocate for businesses throughout the community, and hope that we can be utilized in partnership with the city of Muscatine to pull all of our resources together and make sure we're doing what we can.
Thank you, Adam. Is there anyone else?
Yes.
Please state your name and address.
Brett Bowling, 903 East 2nd Street, apartment 2B.
Yes, please state your comment.
Yes, about the roundabout. Me and my neighbor feel like it's going to cause wrecks and everything down here on 2nd and Mulberry. Why are they doing this?
This was voted on quite some time ago by our council. The engineers designed this to be a flow with the Mississippi Drive Corridor project, and it was voted on by our council. So it's too late to change that at this point. If you have specific problems that arise, then please come back to a council member or to a council meeting and share it with us, and we could address the specific concern that you have.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else? Hearing nothing else, I'll ask.
Mayor,
Yes.
this is Councilman Gendrich. Is this the time for me to speak out, or are we going to get to that yet?
That was my next thing. I was going to say, now I'm going to ask council for their comments. Since you spoke up, you get to go first.
Okay. Very good. Thank you, Mayor. I believe the pit bull discussion, pit bull ban, is scheduled for the in-depth meeting in April. And I'd like to ask the mayor and the council to consider that we table this issue. I think, personally we should table the pit bull discussion to probably the in-depth meeting in June. The pit bull discussion is going to be an emotional and a controversial issue. Our community and citizens are currently dealing with a lot of frustrations and high tensions and so forth, and dealing with the coronavirus. I think that trying to keep from contracting the virus, from kids staying home from school. We got job stress, money stress, a lot of different things playing on people's minds right now, and that added controversy, with that situation, I think would be maybe a little bit untimely at that time. The pit bull ban and the discussion and so forth, nothing really changes if we wait until, like I say, my recommendation would be June. I think hopefully by that time the coronavirus will be, well in hand, and people will be feeling better about getting out and so forth. And so I'd like the council to seriously consider that and ask for consensus on that. I just think we need to move that on out of ways yet.
So, Mayor, this is Councilman Brackett. I would like to answer Councilman Gendrich's statement, but I don't want to step on his time to speak, so I don't know if you want to have him continue with anything else he might have.
Hi, Councilman Gendrich.
No, I think it's no, I'm fine, Mayor. I said made my point. I'd like to see the pit bull discussion tabled until the June in-depth meeting.
And did you have any other comments about anything else?
Well, you mean aside from the pit bull?
We're just having you take a whole turn.
You're cutting out, Mayor. I'm sorry.
I was
She's
just having you
just asking if
take
you're done, John.
Yeah. Were there anything else that you had tonight? Oh. Councilman Tindridge?
No.
Okay. Councilman Brackett, you had a response, so I'll just let you go next.
Okay, yeah, I'm actually, and I was the one that had brought that forward originally. I am okay with holding off on having the public forum on that until we can have a public forum in person. The only thing that I would stipulate on that is that I guess I don't have any stipulations on that at this time, but I would request that we go ahead. I would agree with John that we go ahead and hold that during a point where we can have that discussion in person, because I don't see any way, given the amount of people that have been in contact with us so far and that I know had been working on presentations and other things to present to council. I don't see how any of that could be effective utilizing this particular medium, and I think that it would make the most sense that we have that at an in-person meeting. So I don't have a specific date that I would suggest we push it back to, only that once we open up council chambers for public meetings again, that is when we hold it.
And I hope and pray you're wrong, John, and we have it under our hats long before June. But do I have, are there any council who object to waiting on the pit bull meeting or the discussion until we can have an in-person meeting? Is there anyone that objects to that?
But
I haven't heard anything, so I'm assuming we have consensus to hold off on the pit.
I think.
Is somebody talking?
I'm sorry, Mayor. Yeah, I think it's a good idea to maybe have some kind of a schedule to go by, and I know that the in-depth meeting is a good format for this type of discussion. So, I think we should be, tentatively looking at the May in-depth meeting then, so people have a time frame to shoot for and a little bit of a productive, something that, they can kind of hang their hat on as far as the date.
I'd be fine with that too, as long as we cancel it if it's not an in-person meeting. That's my only stipulation on it, is I don't want to push it back only to push it back for a meeting like this. I want to push it back to a meeting that's in person.
Yes.
And if, we'll certainly have meetings between now and the May in-depth meeting. Yep. And, if the situation with our public health hasn't improved, which I, by all means hope that it has improved, it'd be great to have everything all taken care of tomorrow, but that's not going to happen. So,
Are you all having it at the first in-depth, in-person meeting that we have, whether that be May or June?
Right.
Perfect. Is there anybody that
sure,
doesn't?
That's start.
Go ahead, John.
Okay. No, that's fine, Mayor.
The first in-depth, in-person meeting that we have is when we'll talk about the pit bull. Is there anyone who doesn't agree with that? Okay. Then we have consensus. Councilman Brackett, did you have anything else of comments tonight?
I just wanted to, I don't know how much of the public will catch this meeting, but, I want to encourage the public to maintain social distancing. The fact that we now have a reported case, a confirmed case in Muscatine County of the COVID-19 virus, and what we've seen across the world with how this spreads, we need to be careful here, and one of the best things that I had seen here recently was a statement saying, don't treat this as if you're trying to keep from catching it. Treat it as if you're trying to keep from giving it to other people. So, take that into consideration. situation. There are so many people that have become infected and have not shown any symptoms, but have just been carriers of it until they realize that they had it. That's how we need to behave, so act as if you're spreading it around by getting too close to people and try and be safe for the rest of it, the rest of the public. And if you can't quarantine, if you can't, maintain that distance from people for some reason, please maintain really good hygiene. That would be, the best way to combat this is, wash your hands as much as you can. The other thing too, is we saw a lot of hoarding going on from the grocery stores with people buying up all sorts of things and then making it unavailable for the rest of the public to have access to. Take into consideration, some people can't get out as soon as the items hit the shelves, and don't buy every last item off the shelf. That's not gonna help you in the long run, and it's not gonna help a lot of other people at this point. So just be considerate of others and be careful and be safe. And that's all I've got.
Thank you. Councilman Freilich, do you have anything tonight?
Yes, Your Honor. I would just like to encourage anybody who's listening to this, if you're healthy and well and haven't been in contact with anybody, please shop local and support your small businesses, because there's going to be a lot of them that may not make it through this if it's for an extended period of time. We need every small business we've got and any business that we've got. So please support them if you can.
Thank you. Councilwoman Brockert?
Nothing really. I echo Councilman Freilich's comment. We could lose a lot of our small businesses, and we can't afford to lose the one. So if you're healthy, please go shop.
Thank you. Councilman Malcolm?
Nothing tonight, Your Honor. Thank you.
Councilwoman Gordon?
Nothing. Thank you.
Councilman Hopkins?
Nothing tonight, ma'am.
Thank you. Greg, did you have anything?
Only to thank you guys for giving us the consensus to close City Hall. We have the plans in place to do that, and that action will begin at the end of business tomorrow, and the rest of the public city buildings will be closed at the same time. Notice to those that have limited access at the moment. I also want to brag a little bit about the staff that leads this city staff and how committed they are to making the plans come together to do the right things for the people of Muscatine, but also for the team that is doing the work on behalf of the city. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Cinda, did you have anything?
No, just stay safe.
Okay. I just had a couple things. I'm continuing to do updates for the public. I know one of the things is that people want to hear how things are and where we're at. And now we have 44 cases in the state of Iowa, and we did get the one confirmed this morning in Muscatine County. And I just want to reiterate to people that what we're trying to do with the social distancing is to not only prevent cases, but we're trying to stretch things out so that our healthcare system can have the capacity to address the public need. And so it's really all a matter of prevention and slowing. So I urge everyone, please follow the directives that we've been given. That's our best chance to get through this as smoothly as we can. The updates that I'm doing, you can watch on Channel 5 on MPW Cable. Kevin Jennison, our marketing manager, is doing a great job of getting those all on Facebook and all around. Lots of questions coming in. I urge the public just to continue to remember that they can reach out to their elected officials, to the city staff. We're all here to serve them as we can. And then I would just finally like to ask everybody to join me in praying for our city and our world as the health and safety of every individual. Everybody has a lot on their mind, unknown territory for all of us, but I'm confident that we'll all come out on the other side today, especially if we bind together as a team and a community and look after one another, and I'm seeing a lot of that. I echo what Councilman Brackett said about the hoarding. I've been in contact with managers of each of the large stores, and
they're trying to do what they can to limit that purchasing, but it's only natural when we're working with the unknown to try to hunker down and look after your own. And let's try to remember that everybody in this community is all our family and try to work in that way. Thank you, everybody, for bearing with us. I know
Mayor Brodersen?
Yes.
Hello, Mayor.
Yes.
Your words are well said, you know, and I think that's great. I just want to ask quickly, is the joint meeting between the city council and the county board of supervisors, is that still on schedule?
We have canceled that meeting.
That's canceled. Okay. I'm sorry I didn't catch that. So,
sorry, I thought that announcement had went out already to everyone. Greg, can you double check on that?
I will.
Thank you. But I want to echo what Greg was just saying too about the staff. This is particularly hard on them, and I want to especially reach out and thank our police and fire, as well as our medical people, but also the people working at grocery stores and restaurants that are trying to meet all the needs that we have. So let's all look after each other as long as we're still following the recommendations. And next week we won't have a council meeting. We'll be back on the phone April 2nd, but hopefully maybe that'll be the last one and we can all be back together again. Have a good rest of your week, and please reach out and call us if needed. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you. We're adjourned.
Thank you, everyone.